Benthic macroinvertebrates are considered indicator species because they play a vital role in the natural flow of energy and nutrients, have specific tolerances to pollutants, and react to changes in water quality, all of which are excellent indicators of the health of a water body. So what is a benthic macroinvertebrate? Benthic means bottom dwelling, macro means large enough to be seen with the naked eye, and invertebrate means that it's an animal that lacks a backbone. So put it all together, and a benthic macroinvertebrate is an animal without a backbone that's large enough to be seen with the naked eye that lives on the bottom of a water body like a stream, river, lake, or pond. So where can you find benthic macroinvertebrates? You can find them under rocks, under leaves, under branches, or some of them even live down in the sediment.
Hand picking is a disturbance removal sampling method good for small or low flow streams where a net cannot be used. It involves hand picking and washing substrate as you just saw before. Here, the kick method is being demonstrated. This involves holding a handheld net upstream and disturbing the stream bed. Organisms that are dislodged should then float into your net. Different nets can be used, but here we are using D-frame dip nets as you will see shortly. Remember to exercise caution and bring along any additional safety equipment you think you may need, and be careful not to stumble in the stream. Inspect your net for climbing organisms before you pour it into your bins. As you can see, we have several bins for sorting. It helps to have bins where you can dump your organic material and separate bins to place any organisms that you may find for clearer viewing. Now that we have our benthic sample, let's begin identifying these macroinvertebrates, and you'll learn about how they can reveal information about the quality of this stream.
So different macroinvertebrates have different tolerance levels to pollution in the water. So some are more tolerant of pollution than others are. So if you find species that are very tolerant to pollution and that's kind of all you're finding, that might mean that your water is kind of polluted. But if you find ones that aren't tolerant of any pollution at all, that's a good sign that your water is pretty healthy. So this here is a Damsel Fly Nymph. They are pretty tolerant to a wide range of water conditions, so they're considered kind of like an intermediate group. We've got aquatic worms right here. They can tolerate pretty poor water conditions, so even if you find them, it doesn't mean that your water is poor quality, but if you are only finding these guys, it might indicate that your water is fairly polluted. We have a dragonfly nymph right here. You can distinguish them from the different fly nymphs because they don't have filaments on their, as like a tail right there. They are also tolerant of intermediate, wide range of water pollutant conditions. This type of snail is only tolerant of healthy water conditions. They don't have high tolerances to pollution, so that's another indication that you have a healthy water body. We also have freshwater mussels in here, as well as some snails, and you only find these guys in pretty healthy water because they can't tolerate high pollution levels. So one way to identify the benthic macroinvertebrates that you find is by using an ID key. Like this one right here has it by group, by pollution tolerance. So group 1 are organisms that are generally pollution intolerant, and their dominance signifies excellent to good water quality. So we have Caddisfly, Stonefly, certain kinds of snails, Mayflies. Group 2 are organisms that can exist in a wide range of water quality conditions, from good to poor. So we have dragonflies on here, crayfish, blackflies, and Hellgrammite, which are also called Damsel Fly Larvae. Group 3 are organisms that are generally tolerant of pollution. So they may not indicate that your water is polluted, but if you're only finding them, then that might be a sign that your water is pretty poor quality. So those include midges, pouch snails, and aquatic worms. So you may be wondering how you can get involved with stream biomonitoring in your area. Alabama Water Watch has a program to help train volunteers to do stream sampling in their local watersheds to help determine how healthy they are.